so now that that's done, we can get on to today's video. So welcome back, friends. Thank you for joining us. What we're going to work on today is obviously the Jeep, but we're going to install a small solar panel. And this isn't to provide power when camping or anything. This is simply just to keep the battery topped up. Like a lot of people now, I work online, and so my Jeep's not driven every day. And if I come back about 2.5, 3 weeks later, the battery will be pretty low. And so I want to make sure and keep that battery condition nice and keep the battery nice and topped up so that whenever I come back to it, it's good to go. Also, in doing this project, we're gonna install this in a way that allows future upgradability. So if I want to get a bigger panel on it, let's say we go camping for an extended period of time, and I want to put a bigger panel so we can sit in one spot, I can. So that's really what the point of this video is. So let's take a look what I got, and then we'll start installing it. All right, so the first thing we have here is a little charge controller, and I bought a Wanderer. It's by Renogy. They're supposed to be pretty good. I tried to buy, like, at least the charge controllers, I tried to buy something that was somewhat reliable and had good reviews. I'll be honest though, this thing is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. It's very little. Now it's only 10 amps, but that should be more than good enough for what we're about to do and what we're going to use this for. I don't think there are going to be any problems with it. There's a few adjustments in here for different styles of batteries, but it's pretty simple and small. It's not waterproof, so that's kind of a downside. It'll have to go inside the Jeep, but that's okay. It'll also give us 2 extra USB ports, I suppose, which is kind of nice. So there's that. And the next part is the panel. This is the panel. Now, believe it or not, I bought this one off eBay and they claimed it was 50 watts, and there's no way with this size this is 50 watts, not even close. We'll probably be lucky if we get 10 watts out of this, but that'll be fine for keeping a battery charged up and just giving it a good little trickle charge in combination with that charge controller. Really, this will just be nice because I can stuff it in the window and it can just plug into the charge controller and away it'll go. It'll stay in there for a while. And then because the charge controller is 10 amps, we can always go throw a 100 watt panel on the Jeep if we want, or get one of those foldable ones. And then we have 100 watts if we're out camping somewhere. So this is essentially just when the Jeep is stopped in one place, sit parked for a long time, we're not using it. So that's what that's about. So let's go ahead and get the charge controller mounted and some wires ran, and we'll put this in place and see what it does. It's probably not going to do very good today because you might be able to tell, but it snowed this morning and it's trying to snow right now. So we'll see how far we get. We'll see if we can actually get any power from this thing. So I think what we're going to do is stick it right here. It's really the best spot in the Jeep I could find that's out of the way and that I can get to. I don't really want it on the dash or anything. It's just kind of in the way. And this is easy for right now. If I find a different spot in the future, I can move it. We're just going to use Gorilla double-sided tape, stick it on there. I've had really good luck with this stuff. It's currently actually holding a few things up. One is my CB. It's been up there for a while. And the other thing it's holding up is my my microphone for my CB. And that's been up there for a few years, actually. So the stuff does work. Eventually we'll go ahead and put screws in this and mount it permanently, but I'm not going to do that till I can, until I know this is the actual spot I want it in. All right, perfect. I already have my wires ran, so we're just going to run this right here, and then we'll do something special for the panel here that I'll show you. All right, so I think we're just going to run these up like that. These wires are disconnected from the battery. I haven't connected them yet for obvious reasons. It is snowing more and more as I stand here. I can see the flakes start coming in through the door. But I really wanted to get this project done. Okay, it's all nice and tidy. Now, let's hook up the connection for the solar panel. So for this part, what I did is I went and bought this is a 2-pin trailer plug. This is how it comes, so I'm just going to clip the wire here and run one into the charge controller here, and I'll wire the other one to the panel. The reason I went this route and not anything else is because the connection is inside. I didn't feel the need for the connection to be waterproof or super heavy duty, so that was kind of my reasoning on that. Also, these are pretty affordable. Actually, I think I'm going to wire this a little shorter here. And we're just gonna make white ground, keep the red as power. Doing this though, using plugs like this will allow us to hook up really any power we want, as long as we don't go over the rated amperage of this device here, which again is 10 amps. So for the most part, on anything I'll put on the Jeep, or this Jeep, since we do rent a fridge and some other accessories, but for the most part, that should handle pretty much anything we need. I don't think we'll be going over that. I believe you should be able to get, I have a 10 watt controller. You should be able to get a 100 watt panel on there. Maybe a little bit more if you wanted to, 150 watts or something like that. But 100 watt panel, a good 100 watt panel, should run the ARB fridge I have with no problems really. So, and we don't have any plans of hard mounting a solar panel on the Jeep, only because while I do have that roof rack and it would be nice to hard mount one up there, we use the roof rack. We use the roof rack for our tent because we have a swag. We use the roof rack for all sorts of things, firewood or extra fuel sometimes, or just whatever we have. So putting a whole solar panel up there would drastically reduce how much storage we can have up there. And I don't know how I feel about putting a solar panel up there and then also throwing something like a big old heavy duty canvas swag on top. I'm not sure how the panel would wear if I did that. Okay, so we have this plug installed, and I'm probably gonna get something to tie it right here so it's not hanging around there, but for right now, this is how we'll do it. I had these little neat little sticky things that are neat for wiring, so that'll hold it nice and neat up like that and keep this wire from getting torn up from being plugged and unplugged. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna wire the panel up real quick, and then we'll plug this into the battery. All right, so there's our connection. Pretty simple, I think, pretty nice, and we'll just be able to hook it up when we want to. And then when we get a different panel, I have another one of these, and I can just add that panel in just by plugging it in. Okay, so the directions say before you can plug in a panel, you need to plug this into the battery first, so I'm gonna go and do that. Are we on? We are. Okay, so let's put the panel in the window and then we'll see what happens. I don't know if it's actually going to give any charge right now because there's so little light. Well, it's doing something, so it's getting a little bit of charge. That's good. Now that we have the whole thing hooked up and tested to make sure it works, one thing we have to do is we need to go ahead and set this controller for the type of battery we have. It can do two. It can do flood and gel. Now I have an AMG battery, so I'm going to use the gel setting on here. I believe that'll work. So we'll just do that. So what we do is we go to the voltage input and we hold enter, I believe. Let me double check here actually. Oh no, we go to battery voltage. So battery voltage, hold enter. And it looks like it's already set to gel. So we're gonna keep that. So then we just hold enter again to select gel. Oh man, that wind came up and it is getting cold now. So I think it's time to get inside and warm my hands up. Overall, the install was pretty good, pretty easy, pretty simple. I like the little charge controller. I'm not sure I really like the panel yet. I'll throw a link in the description below for the little charge controller. I'm not gonna include this panel. The description and everything was off about the panels, so I just can't trust it. I got a refund on a lot of my money for the panel because it was wrong, but I can't guarantee that's going to be like that for everyone. So for that reason, I'm not going to put a link to the panel. I will put one that is around 20 watts or so in there that I know is pretty good, and you can take a look at that one. But really, I think this is the perfect setup because it allows me to keep the Jeep charged and the battery topped up and conditioned while I'm not driving it and it's sitting in one spot. And then when I go to drive it, I don't have to worry about a dead battery. But also it allows us to put a bigger panel somewhere maybe one of those fold-out ones that you can throw on the ground, or maybe even hard mount one on the off-road trailer, and then we can just plug it into the Jeep when we're parked for long periods of time. I think that'd be pretty cool. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.